Yep. Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, where's Alone? Where's Alone?
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.
It's so good to see friends here. We know we have friends watching online as well. All week people have been saying to me, Rabbi, must be so nice the holidays are over. I'm like, they're not over yet. We haven't gotten to the best part yet, and that's Simchat Torah. So we're glad that you're here participating with us, and we are so blessed to be together with our amazing musicians, Allison Sniffen on keys, Itai Chris on flute, Alone Near for the first time in like 2 years. Back from Mitzpeh Ramon on bass, Ronen Itzik on drums, and from the Flow video team, Mike and Brendan and Alex and Zach and Reagan, and they're helping make it look nice for everybody who's watching online. Thanks to Sind Senensieb, who as always is the clergy whisperer. We decided today that we'd call this a play in 3 parts, a service in 3 parts. We're going to begin together here in the sanctuary with a service for the evening and for the festival. Part 2, Act 2, will be an opportunity to unroll the Torah, and we're going to need all of your help to do that as we celebrate the end and the beginning of the Torah, reading of the Torah again on Simchat Torah. In Act 3, we're going to take the party outside to dance a little bit, and we'll have our musicians share their music outside. So if you're watching online and you're close enough, you want to join us outside, you can feel free to do that. When we start to roll the Torah back up, you can come from wherever you are and join us as we continue the party outside. For right now, we're going to continue with the blessing of the festival candles. If you're here in the sanctuary, you have a Siddur. It should say weekdays and festivals on the outside. If here says Shabbat, you'll need to come back Friday night, although we hope you'll come back Friday night also. We do have more festival books outside. We're on page 120 as we begin together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'hadlik ner le'hadlik
We continue with Kiddush on page 122. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol am v'romemanu mikol hashon v'kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav. Vatiten lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava moadim l'simcha chagim uzmanim l'sason et yom hashemini chag hatzeret hazeh zeman simchatenu mikra kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'achata v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim umoadei kodshecha v'simcha v'sason hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Yisrael v'hazmanim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyemanu v'higianu b'zman hazeh.
L'chaim.
We rise and body our spirit on page 130 for the Baruch Hu. Page 136 for the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We continue now with our song for celebrating our freedom, Mi Chamocha, on page 142. Yabba ba bim bim bam, yabba ba bim bam, yabba ba bim bim bam, yabba ba bim bam, yai lai la lai lai lai, yabba ba bim bam, yai lai la lai lai lai, yabba ba bim bam. Mi chamocha parim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar v'kodesh, Torah tehilot osef melech, Torah tehilot osef melech, ma'alechutecha sha'u banecha, chokei hayam b'fnei Moshe u'Miriam, ve'eli ze'eli anu ve'amnu, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Yabba ba bim bim bam, yabba ba bim bam, yabba ba bim bim bam, yabba ba bim bam, yai lai la lai lai lai, yabba ba bim bam, yai lai la lai lai lai, yabba ba bim bam. We continue now. We invite you to rise for the Amidah. Please note that today is the first day that we start praying for rain again, and we insert, instead of praying for dew, Morid Atal, it's Morid HaGashem. We pray for rain. On page 204. Adonai sefatai tiftach, ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo b'Ahava, Melech Ozer, U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rab le'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, U'Morid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chaim b'Chesed, Mechaye HaKol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal kivurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'nemanata l'hachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol.
Please join together at the bottom of 209. Remember those whose hearts poured out to you like water, who trusted that the journey would lead to you. For Abraham and Sarah's faith, do not withhold water. Remember the one chosen for her words. Please take some water. And remember the one whose blood was almost spilled like water. For Rebekah and Isaac's righteousness, grant water. Remember how Jacob crossed the river to wrestle in the waters of his conscience? Recall the sisters' tears, their waters of birth, their tents of peace. For Jacob, Rachel, and Leah fill the earth with needed water. Livracha v'lo liklala, l'chaim v'lo lamavet, l'sova v'lo l'ratzon. For blessing and not for curse, for life and not death, for abundance, not want.
אתה קדוש שמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. The white space in the Torah scroll invites us to explore the wisdom of the black letters with our full selves. And we pause now, taking a break from the words of our Siddur to do the same as we continue with our own offerings.
Shalom bimroma, Uyase shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael, Bimru amen. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Aleinu can be found on page 322. Please rise as the ark is open. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula liotzer bereshit, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגר עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני המלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יחיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our lifespans are each a Torah scroll, and the way we live our days are the words that are written on it. And even after our lives on this earth end, those scrolls remain for others to read again and again and again. And so this is a moment when we remember those whose lives on this earth are over, but whose Torah is very much with us. If there's anyone you're remembering who maybe died in recent days or at this time in years past, I just invite us all to offer those people's names together. Together we give thanks with grief and gratitude on page 334, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal vayitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivorach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudashah b'richu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. O say shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Please be seated.
We turn to our Torah service for Simchat Torah. Torah service is always the centerpiece of our worship service, but it is especially on this holiday as we read the end and the beginning again. So some logistics. If you are watching online, this would be a great time if you have a Torah commentary at home, or you have a plush Torah, or if you have a consecration Torah, one of those mini Torahs we give out when our kids start religious school, or anything that symbolizes Torah for you, you can have that ready. So later on when we're dancing, you can dance with that symbol of the Torah. In a minute, we're going to enter into our Torah service as we usually do, with song. And for those who are here in the sanctuary and are willing to help, and we're going to need as much help as we can get, if you invested in the 3M company earlier today, today was a good day to invest, because you'll see that we've put blue tape marks on the floor all around the outside of the sanctuary, because we want to be able to unroll the Torah around the congregation. So after we sing Shema in a bit, we'll invite anybody who's willing to help. to stand up, not right this second. Stand up, find a place on the floor where there's a blue tape mark. They're about 4 feet between. And I think Lori and Amy are going to come around and maybe Sin too, with white gloves for you to put on. And Rabbi Reines and I are going to take the Torah down the center aisle and start to unroll it. And we're going to ask you to hold the Torah kind of like this, so you can help hold it up so we can create this beautiful tableau of being surrounded by the Torah. So again, after Shema, if you're willing to help us, we want to be able to do that so we can recount the Torah and make our way from the end all the way back to the beginning again. Was that relatively muddy and unclear? Okay, good. Perfect. Excellent. This is the chaos portion of the program, and you are all in for it, I know. So we are going to turn to the Torah service, which you can find in your Siddur on page 230. We're going to invite you once again to stand for Ki Mitzion. Please rise as you are able.
Ki Mitzion tetzeh Torah, Ki Mitzion tetzeh Torah, u'devar Adonai Yerushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Be'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad Eloheinu, Adol Adoninu, Kadosh Shemo.
Go ahead and find a spot on a piece of blue tape. Rabbi, you ready? Just gonna put this down
Sweet
here.
as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on a cloud. Sweet as honey, sweet as honey, sweet as honey on a cloud.
Guys, come on, Dan, come around closer. You want to take this end? We are surrounded by Torah. We are embraced by Torah. And we hold on to the Torah. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast. And all of its supporters are happy. And look at all these happy faces here in our sanctuary, and I know online as well. If you'll join us for the Aliyah, everybody together. Baruch hu et Adonai havorach. Baruch Adonai havorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol hamim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha-Torah. And Jenna's going to read the end of the Torah for us.
Velo kam navi or be'Yisrael k'Moshe asher yeda Adonai panim el panim lechol ha'otot והמפתים אשר שלחה אדוני לעשות בארץ מצרים לפרעה ולכל עבדיו ולכל ארצו ולכל היד החזקה ולכל המורה הגדול אשר עשה משה לעיני כל ישראל.
Yishar Koach, and this is going to be a Yad relay. Let's make our way back through the Torah. Parashat Ha'azinu, Moses' last words that he said to the Israelites before we crossed into the Red Sea. You see their beautiful columns because it's a poem. And then we get to, and I like reading in this direction in reverse order, because here is all the curses that will happen if we don't follow the Torah. But then here's all the blessings we will get if we follow the Torah. Well done. Both of them are important. Okay, and we make our way back through the book of Deuteronomy, a retelling of the whole story of our journey through the wilderness. And then we get to Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And then we get to the Ten Commandments. So important is it to honor our parents that we said it twice in the Torah. And then we're going to make our way through here. Amy's not watching. Don't worry. Amy's not watching. And then we get to... Amy sees everything. And then we get to the beginning of the book of Deuteronomy and the end of the book of Numbers. And we're making our way all the way through this long 40-year journey through the wilderness. We see all of the stories and all of the rebellions and all the stories of the Israelites who were apparently in the ancient world. The Jewish people were stubborn. It doesn't happen anymore in the 21st century. But back then we were stubborn. We didn't always listen to God. We didn't always listen to Moses. But we always listened to the rabbi, apparently. So, and then we get to, and of course it's appropriate that Liz is standing here, because we get to the priestly blessing. And we pray that our president is always blessed as she blesses us. So we have the priestly blessing here. And then we're at the end. The beginning of the book of Numbers, which means Leviticus, is in this way, which is all of you are really into animal sacrifice, I know, so you probably will be very into this. Barbecue. Okay, thank you. You saved us. Outback Steakhouse is this way, and we're recounting the way in which we connected to God. We don't always understand why there's all this animal sacrifice, and it is the way that we wanted to connect with God by sending God the best that we had and give God great gifts. And so even though we don't worship God in the same way anymore, we still understand why the ancient Israelites did. And then here's the beginning of the book of Leviticus, and I'm going to pass the torch on to my friend for the book of Exodus.
Right here, kind of in the middle of our sanctuary, you can probably even see it from over there. This one letter is inked very darkly. That is because there was probably an ink splotch. And it has been carried throughout history, but rabbis love making a lot out of that. So we are in...
Are you saying rabbis make stuff up, Rabbi?
You know, we find meaning everywhere. Every mistake has purpose. So here we are. Let's see now. I'm not climbing over pews because I follow the rules. But here we are, and we are in the book of Exodus, and we are building the tabernacle and bringing our many gifts to the tabernacle. And here we have a bunch of low. These are all the do-nots and some of the don'ts. of the 10 Commandments. And here we have the exquisite portion, which is the song at the sea. And it looks like waves, some people say, and some say like bricks. So we know how it ends happy. That makes it easier for us to go through here, where we have all of the plagues. Not so happy. Oh, I'm not jumping over. My mother would be upset. Okay, here we go. That's okay, we can wait. And here we have this big gap, which means this is the beginning of the book of Exodus and the end of the book of Genesis. So, of course, we have the long saga of Jacob. He takes up so much space, and he doesn't even count as a patriarch. Poor guy. But that's okay. We appreciate Joseph all the same. Here we have Jacob. Anyone here have a name Yaakov or Jacob? Don't raise your hand. Good point. But I bet a lot of us can find our Hebrew names here. So here we have Jacob, and he's like, creating a big family. We'll skip that part. This is a family affair here. And here we get to, let's name some of the matriarchs. So we have Rebecca, and her kids are fighting in the womb, and she has no pain medication. This was long before that. So we really feel for her.
Are you telling me that in the ancient world there was sibling rivalry? I mean, that never happens anymore.
Never. We created that. And speaking of family rivalry, so here they're fighting in the womb, right? And here, one of them almost gets sacrificed. So that's bad. And now when we make our way down here, Cain and Abel, well, we know how that story goes. So the good news is when we move this way, the sibling rivalry actually gets better. But we're doing it backwards. And now we come to the very beginning, Bereshit, bara Elohim, and we have creation.
Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'haaretz hayeta tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tehom v'ruach Elohim merachefet al pnei hamayim vayomer Elohim yehi or vayi or vayar Elohim et haor ki tov Vayavdel Elohim ben haor uven hachoshech Vayikra Elohim laor yom v'lachoshech kara layla Vayi erev vayi boker yom echad.
Yishar koach all together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. We have been given a Torat emet, a truthful Torah, filled with truths that still speak to us through the many, 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 many centuries. And we're grateful to all of you for holding on to the Torah not only tonight, but every night. And all of you watching online are holding on to Torah as well. And we're so lucky to be together as a community that embraces Torah as we have. For this moment, we're going to start to roll the Torah back. Don't leave until we get to you, okay? Because you said you would hold the Torah, so you're holding it fast, at least until we get to you. When you've been released, you can go back to your seats for just a moment, and we'll give you instructions about the rest of our evening.
It is a tree of life to those that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to those that hold fast to it, and all of its supporters are happy. Shalom, shalom, shalom,
Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Am Yisrael Chai. Odadinu, Odadinu, Odadinu Chai. Odadinu, Odadinu, Odadinu Chai. Odadinu, Odadinu, Odadinu Chai. Odadinu Chai.
So Rabbi Jesse Berger has hereby told us that we don't have to work out tomorrow. So that's good. Thank you for your help. We're going to move the party outside. Does that sound good? This has been something I wanted to do since I've been here, and we finally figured out in a pandemic how to do this. We'll see if we figured it out. What we're going to do in a second, after I take a deep breath, is we're going to invite people to go outside. Cindy, are we having people go out that way, or do we want people to go out the back? I know there's treats out that way. So if you want treats, and you do, you're going to want to go out that way, out to 79th Street. And we're going to bring 2 Torahs out, and we're going to dance, and the music will continue. There's a tradition of doing hakafot, of circles, during Simchat Torah with the Torah. So we're going to do 4 all together, and we invite you to stay with us and celebrate and make sure you meet people. And we want everybody who wants to have a chance to hold the Torah to hold the Torah. So, Cantor, perhaps let's hear the first hakafa, and then everybody can make their way outside. I think through that door is the best way to go, and we will meet you outside.
Adonai Hoshiana,
Hoshiana,
Adonai Hatzlichana,
Hatzlichana,
Elohei Harukot, Hoshiana,
Hoshiana,
Ochen Levavot, Hatzlichana,
Slichana.
Goel Chazak Aleinu, B'yom Koreinu. Aleinu, Aleinu, B'yom Koreinu. Aleinu, Aleinu, B'yom Koreinu. Aleinu, Aleinu, B'yom Koreinu. Aleinu, Aleinu, B'yom Koreinu.
Come on up.
Rominu Adonai Eloheinu Mishpacha Okay. For the second hakafa, we invite up, give me 1 second, any member over 10 years to carry the Torah. But first, we have our introduction. We invite anyone who's joined in the last 2 years. And if it's not enough, then 3 to 4 or 5. We'll move up.
Less than 5 years.
Less than 5. There we go. Okay, here we go. Safi Yasham. Oh, 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 Shiana.
yourself there, Cantor.
Okay, hackathon number 4. Anyone who hasn't held the Torah yet?
play, huh?